Hello and welcome to the channel. This is Love and Light Tarot, and here we do psychic readings guided by the force of nature. I just recently moved into my now passed on grandmother's house, and she has this lovely florist, as you can see. So I thought what a cool idea it is to do these kinds of videos in the forest, as I strongly believe nature holds guidance at a higher level than humans can access. So in this reading, this is not only guided by spirit as it is the forest itself. Also, my channel is fairly new, so it means the world to me when you all comment, like, and subscribe. So if this video resonates with you in some way, make sure to let me know. And I do respond to new reading requests. And we shall begin. This is the picture I felt called to choose for you today. The pile 1 is going to be the eye with the snakes coming out of it, and pile 2 is in the middle, and pile 3 is the eye with the wing. So you can meditate on these symbols, and when you're ready, just jump to the description as I already have the timestamps listed. Okay, pile 1, this is your reading. I see that a lot of you may be Leos and possibly Pisces. So you may have Leo sun, rising, or moon, as well as Pisces. Or this may be some energy that you're wanting to cultivate. Perhaps you maybe want to become more intuitive, or you want to be more confident. Right off the bat, I just want to say that a lot of you guys are manifesting. Okay, this reading is about a manifestation, something that you want to start. And I also want to say that this card I pulled, the wanting gibbous, represents, some of you may have been born under a wanting gibbous moon, and this represents your true nature. So you guys may be very transformative people. You may be able to find the calm in change. You're very used to new beginnings. Like, this feels like an energy where fire is what I'm hearing, a lot of fire energy. So a lot of you guys may also be, Sagittarius or other fire signs. You're very connected to this energy of transformation. We think of the phoenix, like rising from the ashes. That's the element of fire there as well. So this card says the calm after the storm, gratitude, sharing, appreciation, transformation, and it's good for meditation, internal reflection, assessment and evaluation, giving back, transmutation, and the surrender. And it's also associated with the tarot card, the Star. So I do feel like that Pisces energy, you guys are basically weaving a web. This is talking about you want to transform your reality, and you're doing that first by, it's like you're looking within to see how you're going to do that. That's what I see in this spread here. And so I also wanted to highlight your energy. So you're being represented by the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Cups, but this was the Nine of Pentacles, and this was in reverse. So I see that you guys are really anxious, very excited, not bad anxious, but like antsy, I guess is the right word, to start a new cycle, because you're at the end of something. So you've cultivated something, you like ended a chapter, you feel like you've learned enough from it, and now you're like really ready to start something new. And it's a very confident energy. This is also giving me fire energy as well. We think of wood with fire. So a lot of you guys are going to be manifesting something, and it's your integrity is aligned with it. I will say that as well. The wands is like your integrity is with it. So it's something that it feels very good to you. And very natural as well, though I do see that you may have to basically improve your intelligence to make this happen, and I'll get into that later. But I first want to say that being that you're represented by the Magician card, you guys also may be quite literally working with the fundamentals of magic. Like you may be, you know, reciting affirmations, lighting candles, doing things like that. And this gives you a sense of power. And another way that you guys may be doing this is to look within and finding your own resources that you can use to create something in the physical reality. But either way, you guys are definitely manifesting. So this card is like confirmation that, you know, if you're doing things right now, it's for a purpose. It is most definitely aligned with the thing that you want to bring to fruition. You guys are also being represented by the King of Cups. So you feel very safe in this. I feel that this is something that you feel you're experienced, but you can also grow. So like right now, being that you're represented by the Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands, you feel like you're at the end of a cycle. Like you've learned enough and now you can't grow. Where the foundation of this is like, it's filling your cup and you have enough to give. So it's going to be something where you have enough knowledge to get it started and you're able to grow in knowledge, so you're not going to get bored of that, you know, if that makes sense. Like it's a very good foundation. It's not something that it's going to be phased out. I see this as something that's going to continually grow, and it may also be aligned to your own spiritual development, because with that Leo and Pisces energy, we see that you're going out there, you're, you know, getting that goal energy started in you, but there's also an internal transformation and wisdom that comes with this as well. So this is a very positive manifestation. It's aligned with your soul growth. And it is something that is brand new. So especially in the physical realm, like you may be inexperienced in the physical realm. Maybe you are very good at doing things in your mind, or, you know, thinking about things. But when you come to grounding it in action in this realm, it's like something very new to you. So it's kind of bringing you out of your comfort zone. It's forcing you to also learn to be more of an expert so that you feel comfortable in the physical realm. So there's a lot of learning here, a lot of like higher self knowledge coming through. You may be getting hints from your higher self, where sometimes like a hint will just come to you and you don't know where it came from, but suddenly you know what next step to do. And that is like this higher intelligence here. You're guided because this is a very, like I said, it's a very positive manifestation. It's aligned with your soul growth. So whatever you need is going to be provided to you, whether it's intelligence, resources, confidence, you know, internal reflection, all of that is going to be provided to you. And I also pulled some oracle cards for you as well, and part of these are soul surrendering cards. So everything that I'm about to highlight here is things that may be prohibiting you or kind of holding you back from starting this. Maybe this is why it feels kind of new to do things in the physical realm, because you may have let these things hold you back in the past. So we're gonna get started with the first card. It says, surrender your fear of intimacy. It says, you are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. What I'm getting here is that this journey is a heartfelt journey. It's something that it speaks to your soul, and there's a lot of growth in the heart. You know, it's the middle ground of the body, so you can go higher or lower with it. It's never stagnant. And this is something that it feels right to you, and it's at a soul level, it feels right. But what they're saying here is that you don't want to restrict your love, because love is your gift. So the more that you expand on that, gifts are going to come through, because if this is a soul-led, you know, heartfelt desire or manifestation, the worst thing you could do would be to block your heart out. So they're really telling you to open your heart. Maybe this means, doing things that you wouldn't normally do, talking to people, taking the first step, maybe, being in relationships where you're more affectionate. Because they really want you to call upon that heart energy, because it's going to help you not only just, with your relationships, but with your manifestation as well. So they really want you to be familiar with your heart energy, expressing it, getting very comfortable in that. I feel like it's going to aid you in the physical realm. And like I said, that may have been something that held you back in the past if you were not expressive with your heart. Maybe that's why you felt like you couldn't start things. You thought about things, you wanted to do things, but you couldn't start them, because the heart is the action. So they say, the more that you get comfortable with expressing your heart, the more it's going to feel more natural to go forth with this manifestation. The second card that I'm feeling called to pull is obsessive thinking. This card says, if you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help you bring clarity or even solve the problem. So what I'm feeling with this is that in the past, or even maybe right now, you may have used your heart to essentially think about others, and like maybe you kind of used it as a healing coping mechanism to obsessively think about others and their problems and try to find reasoning in them, or try to forgive them, understand them. And what spirit is telling you is to transmute the way that you used your heart. Maybe you used it in imagination or overthinking about someone you cared about, but now they want you to use it in expression. And the way to do that is they're saying, transmute the lens of your heart from the external to your inward. Start seeing qualities that you can contribute to be a more, externally loving person. Because overthinking about people, it doesn't exactly help them. It may help you understand them, but the only way that you can really help people is to do something about it in the physical realm. Spirit's really saying, like, your heart is very useful. It's a very beautiful tool, but if you use it in stagnation and just simply in imagination or overthinking, directing your attention outside of yourself, it's not going to give you the rewards that you would otherwise get if you turn it inwards. And I also feel like there is something there with turning your heart inwards, seeing your own good qualities, learning how to love people, learning how to expand your heart into this manifestation. There's something aligned with that, with the power of your manifestation, being that it is heartfelt and soul-led. When you turn your energy inwards and you kind of block out these sensors that were otherwise focusing on other people, you're going to magnetize the energy of, your manifestation. The next card that I'm feeling called to talk about is this surrender denial. It says, accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. I'm feeling like this is aligned with the obsessing card. So you may have been in denial of maybe the way someone felt about you or their true intentions, because you were very focused on understanding them. Whereas if you turn your energy into your own emotions and how you're processing the situation, that can offer you a lot of wisdom of who they really are and how they really feel about you, because you're going to feel affected by it. In other words, like, obsessing about people doesn't really benefit you at all. It kind of distracts you from how they feel about you if you're so used to trying to understand them. So Spirit's like, don't be in denial of, if someone is showing you consistent issues, even if you understand them, even if you can find the reason, like, oh, they had trauma, that's why they act like that. Spirit's kind of saying, like, just because you know the reason, do not be in denial that it's going to change. because some people are the way they are and they're not going to change. I feel like Spirit is trying to tell you something here, to direct your heart inward, because you cannot fix these people. No matter how much love you're trying to give them, no matter how much you're trying to understand them, you're not going to be able to change them. They don't want to change, is what I'm hearing. So Spirit is kind of telling you to accept them as they are. And, you know, there's also some beauty in it as well when you understand people, but you also give up on trying to fix them. You kind of get to see what they would rather do. It's like this quote that says, you know, let people do what they want to do so you would see what they would rather do. It's kind of that, like, let the ship sink, you know, sit back and just let them show you who they really are. And do not be in denial of that. Do not think they could change if it's like a very repetitive pattern, because again, when you just harness your heart energy in yourself, it's going to benefit you, rather than trying to essentially repeat the same thing over and over if it's not giving you results. And the last card that I'm feeling called to talk about is this fear of change. And I do feel that this is tied into something with these other oracle cards. So I'm going to move into that now. So there was a lot of like relationship messages coming along. And I do feel like since I pulled cards on your manifestation, and it's, you know, with these relationship oracle cards, there's something there about like knowing your worth and focusing on that, you know, not in an egotistical way, but more in a way where you want to have peace. You want to feel peaceful. You know, you want to harness your energy so you have more of it to put into what you really want to do, what can bring you results, you know, what has a purpose, a reason. And the way to do that is to essentially accept what you cannot change. These next oracle cards are from the light deck, and I am feeling called to read some from the book. So Spirit wants you to know that with this manifestation, there is only light. Spirit is supporting you 100% with this. This is aligned with your soul growth. Like I said, you know, internal reflection, like you're gonna grow soulfully with this. So it's only light. It's a very purposeful manifestation. And there's also something here to let go of doubts, to let go of fear, to let go of fear of doing something different than you've done before. And to really just trust that if it is only light, nothing can go wrong. And Spirit is telling you that with this card. We also have another confirmation that this is a manifestation that is being visualized. It's coming into fruition. It first started in your mind, and you know, now it's going to be brought into the physical world. Though this may be new to you, you have a very expansive foundation. I feel like you've been thinking about this for a really long time. You just kind of had you didn't have the confidence to act on it until now. But Spirit is telling you, like, the more you visualize it and you really become one with that manifestation, it's going to become so natural to you. And, you know, the heart chakra is also aligned with imagination. So they're saying, you know, instead of imagining about things outside of you, start imagining about yourself, like what you are capable of, and that's going to help your manifestation. I'm also feeling called to read that one at the end. And then we have Soul Tree and Soul Family. So I do feel like you guys may be healers, or you may have some type of desire with this light energy manifestation to connect with other people. Maybe you want to offer a service that can reach a lot of people, because with the Soul Tree here, we have this connection to like the nature, the oneness in us all. And then we also have Soul Family, which is like connecting to people, feeling at home in a community. So I do feel that this manifestation it's something that it's going to reach, or you want it to reach right now, a very large group of people. And you just want to help people. You want to spread that light. It feels very light, like there's this balance between nature and human. Like, you want people to remember that we're all connected. It's something like that. I feel like okay, they just told me soul tree card here. They said connect to your roots. That's where you're gonna find your inspiration, your light. If you connect to your roots, if you connect to the root chakra, the grounding element of the earth, you know, going out in nature, if you connect to this energy, you're gonna find everything you need is already inside of you. That was a really big message. They said that you may be looking for things outside of you. Like, maybe you're looking for resources in other people, like soul family may be able to give you resources as well. But they're saying that, yes, these people can give you things, but just as much of it is found within yourself too. Yes, there's something there with that. And this is your magician power. When you connect to your roots, your own groundedness, all magic, the most powerful magic is done in the root chakra. You know, he's wearing red. It's because it's the connection with the earth that brings things to fruition. So that's a really big emphasis they're saying here, is to focus on that. The more that you ground yourself, like, you don't want to be airy, you don't want to be thinking too much about things. They're just telling you to, like, okay, more is coming through. Like, I feel like you've been tied with the air chakra lately, and they're telling you to now change it to the root chakra, because with this obsessive thinking, it's very airy, it's not grounded, you know. And yeah, they're telling you to shift gears, and like with that Leo energy, it's also grounded. We think of Leo with like orange and red, you know, those are the colors of the earth, and the fire element, like, they're really telling you to hone in on that inner violet flame. So now I'm feeling called to talk about this last card in the surrender deck. Okay, it says, surrender your fear of change. The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always. Whether you are afraid of a change in your job, your health, or relationship, or you fear aging of death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. Yes, they're telling you to focus on the feelings. With this orange energy here, I'm really feeling called to outline that, like the sacral chakra. Focus on your feelings. If you feel good, there's no reason to overthink, and just, you know, remember that this is divine. There is only light. This cannot be impurified. Like, this is a divine manifestation. It's aligned with your soul growth, so there's nothing you have to worry about. There's nothing you have to obsess about. Spirit is really just asking you, like, I can help you. You just have to control your mind. You just have to, I guess, like, give me the space to help you. Let me, you know, let your mind transform. And in order to do that, you have to really just let go of your mind and, you know, be one with the earth and not think so much in order to let that process happen. So now I'm feeling called to read you these last two cards from my book. This is The Secret Language of Light. So I'm going to have all my decks in the description. Feeling called first to read this one of Variance. And by the way, if this resonated with you in any way, I would love it if you would either like or comment. This channel is new, so it really does mean especially a lot to me right now. And I love doing these readings for you guys, so if you have any reading requests that you want to, you know, let me know, definitely put it in the comments and I will work on doing that. Okay, this says, the differing perceptions of ego and soul. Today you may not feel like yourself. You and your soul are looking at the same thing but are seeing it differently. Your emotions and reactions are a combination of your thoughts and your soul's thoughts. And when they don't align, you feel wobbly. Variance is a way of explaining the wobble. When you have the same perspective as your soul, things feel right. They may seem satisfactory and easy. No limiting belief or patterns are triggered, but there is a feeling that all is well. Your soul will never join you in judgment, blame, or hurt because it is not the truth of you. It is not the perspective of love. How you feel reveals how aligned you are with your soul. If you are experiencing something that doesn't feel quite right, take a breath and come back to your center. There you will feel better, inspired to navigate your inner radar and ready to receive your soul's transmissions. Okay, so Spirit wanted me to read that, and they also want me to read this card of visualization. If you can dream it, you can create it. Your imagination is a magical superpower that develops the content, look, and feel of your life. You can use your inner vision to maintain or transform anything in your life. Visualization helps us to create a dream life without the perceived boundaries of the manifested world. To take your dreams out into the world, recall your vision of them as you meditate. Let the dream become a feeling that leads to a knowing that is so deeply ingrained, it will become an automatic response. Through repetition, this response gains momentum toward the tipping point between vision and manifestation. Now that you are privy to this universal law, relax and enjoy the journey towards your desires. When a desire manifests in your physical life, a new desire will be born in your imagination, and a fresh path will unfold. Okay, so I'm gonna end your reading off here. Pile 1, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Hello, Pile 2, this is your reading. Okay, so I see that a lot of you may be oriented with the 5th house. So you may have a lot of planets in the 5th house. Perhaps you're a sun in the 5th house. So you like to create, you like to love, you like to have fun. You're very action oriented, some of you. And we also have some water signs. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces may be watching as well. Moon, sun, rising. And we also may have some 8th house associated people in this reading as well. So again, Scorpios are also water and 8th house, and a lot of you may be intuitive as well. So I'm getting a lot of intuitive energy here. You guys feel like you're not a rookie. This reading it's gonna it's gonna tell you that as well. Like, you're not a rookie. Spirit isn't gonna give you all the answers. They're kind of just gonna tell you to, well, I guess remind you that the answers are within you, because this isn't new. We do have the Tower card in this reading. We do have some cards of strength, conflict, things like that, heavy energies. But Spirit is saying, like, we would not give you something if you couldn't handle it. You can very well handle it. And they actually want you to alchemize it. They want you to find a reason out of it. So that's kind of what your reading is about. These cards, just to read them off, the 5th house is associated with self-expression, drama, romance, love, creativity, hobbies, interests, pleasure, play, joy, and attention. Okay, so some of you guys may be very well in touch with this energy here. The 8th house is associated with death, transformation, mystery, inheritance, loans, shared assets, joint finances, sacrifices, occult, and sexuality. Okay, this is very much aligned with the Tower energy here, the 8th house. And because I pulled this card to essentially describe what energies you all are familiar with, Spirit is like, you can definitely handle these things that are happening in the physical realm because this energy is familiar to you. And then we also have the water signs, which are fluid, flowing, and wavering, deeply emotional, sensitive, intuitive, perceptive, and feeling. So just off the bat, Spirit is saying, like, because you guys are already equipped to essentially deal with, you know, certain challenges, life circumstances, they give you this very keen intuition. Like, you know what to do and when to do it, to essentially transform and alchemize your situation. And a way to do this is to combine, they want you to feel good as well as see the bigger picture. They don't want you to be too, heavyweight. Like, they don't want you to be heavy burdened by these things happening here. They want you to rise above it in your perception and in your feeling, and find a way to feel good even amongst these things that are happening. So I just want to say, to start off, I see that you guys are like in the midst of a new project, or you're working on yourself. You're in the middle of inventing something, a new version of yourself, a project. Maybe you want to go out and look for a new job. You're thinking of changing careers, but there's something here that's saying, like, it's at the very beginning stage. So you're like at the very end and you're working on it right now. So there's a lot of energy and action, a lot of masculine energy here. Like, you're really directing your resources to making this thing happen. And it seems like as you're doing that, like, you know, then comes the Tower here. And the whole reason for this Tower, I guess a higher perspective of this, is like, Spirit sees that you're working for something, and they see that you're so serious about it that they're like, okay, well then, if you're so serious about it, then I'm going to interfere, and I'm going to make sure that everything that isn't aligned with this is going to fall away. And even if that hurts in the moment, you know, you can handle it, because you showed me that you were really serious about this thing. And even though it may look chaotic, I'm actually helping you, because I'm just clearing away everything that is not resonating with it. So that may be something that's happening currently in your life, or it may be alluding to something that is about to happen. And I see that there is a progression of events that leads to this Tower moment here. Like, I see that you guys, it's like, I'll get into it later, but it's like you were carrying a lot of burdens, fighting with people, and it's because everything that is not resonating with this thing that you're just now starting, it's going to start to fall away. And in this journey, like, they're showing you strength. They're reminding you of your intuition. They're reminding you of your ability to act, to persevere in these situations. And essentially of that, you know, inner self that is always with you, that is able to handle anything that comes your way. And being that this is represented by the Lion, the 5th house is ruled by Leo, so some of you also may be Leos, and this is really calling you to, you know, harness that energy as well, harness that fire, that lion energy. Okay, so we're gonna get into kind of the progression of what is leading to this Tower moment. I see here with the Knight of Swords, this kind of represents you. I see a lot of fighting, like disagreement, like, and it's very airy, and that's why there's a lot of fighting, because no one's really grounded. So it may be like family members, it could be friends, it could be your partner, but it just feels like both of you are up in the air, and someone needs to be grounded in order to stop the arguing, if that makes sense. Because when people are grounded, they're gonna see that this isn't really as bad as it seems. Like, it's just because people are in the wrong energy. You know, people are letting their emotions come to a fuse, is what I'm trying to get at here. So I see that there's a lot of like combative energy between you and another party, and this, I see here that you essentially realized that you and this person were not going to get on common ground. Like, both of you were up in the air, but you wanted to be in a different, you know, frequency. You wanted to get out of it, and you basically turned all your focus into working for your goals. You turned it into, success. Like, okay, I can't find peace in this one area of my life, so I'm going to move to an area where I know that it's going to bring me peace because I'm in control of it. I cannot be in control of other people, so why would I put all my eggs in that basket if it's not going to bring me happiness? I see that this is kind of what was going through your head, and then you turn it to really just focus on getting money and being, action-based in the physical world. And while this is a healthy coping mechanism to, deal with conflict in your home or your environment, it does eventually lead to burnout, because what happens is that, the situation doesn't go away. And now you just put another situation on your, plate, essentially. Like, now you're working for your career and you have this other conflicting energy here, so it becomes like too much to hold, essentially. And this is what Spirit is trying to show you here, that you can come to your own consensus of rising above this. You can consult your feelings and consult your intuition and understand that you don't have to act to escape. You can escape in your own solace, in a good frequency, essentially delusion, really. Delusion is key, right? And not overwork yourself, because they're kind of saying, like, answers are not always in the physical realm. Sometimes it's just the way you view the physical realm, because I do see that, when you were overworking yourself with this new career motive, the conflict was still there, and then it's like too much. So what happens is that where you may be right now is you don't really know where to go, because there's this new journey here where maybe the ways that you used to handle conflict are no longer working. Like, you tried to act in the physical realm to escape it, and now it's become too much. And now you're like, what do I do? Because I don't want to, be burdened by anything. And Spirit, this is where Spirit is saying this is a new journey. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but it can 100% happen, because the things that you need are inside of you. They just showed me that a lot of you guys have, intuition, your water signs, your 8th house placements, Scorpios. Like, a lot of you guys are very powerful, so you already have these tools that are useful to you. You can call upon your creativity, and I'm gonna get into that later, but basically you're learning that the physical realm can only do so much for you, and Spirit's kind of directing your attention to your own inner power, your own inner strength, and you're really just learning how to alchemize the situation and learn from it, and find yourself along the way. They want you to come closer to yourself rather than closer to a job or another distraction, because it's just going to be too much. Okay, so that is your tarot spread, and now I'm going to get into some oracle messages. We're going to start out with the Surrender deck. Okay, this is talking about everything that, if you want to make your life easier, especially in this situation, surrendering these things is going to clear your path and make it, the path of least resistance. So this may be for a very, very small group of you, but I did pull the card of addiction. So they did say, surrender your addictions. Some of you may have been trying to escape the situation through substances, or maybe work was an addiction. Maybe, the money hustle was an addiction. Anything that you're doing to escape that burns you out or causes any, discourse in your body, I would label that as an addiction. And this card says, whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. So again, this card is, it's like a leading into, Spirit wants you to learn different ways to escape, the situation. But really by that, we mean like transmute, alchemize, like how to, be grounded in the situation but not let it destroy you, if that makes sense. And that is all done within. Everything you need within you is accessible at any time, including your inner peace. So this is another card I pulled. They really want you to be one with your feelings. Just focus on that. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. especially in this environment where it's like a lot of people are up in the air, a lot of people are, you know, emotionally reactive. If you're the, you know, grounding force of good energy, eventually it's going to rub off on people. You know, eventually they're going to look at you and see that you're unbothered and look at themselves and be like, oh my God, why am I acting like that? You know, like, the best thing you can really do is to act and really feel like it doesn't affect you, and people will eventually give up. And we also have surrender to effortlessness. That's kind of what I was just saying there. Like, if you just give up and if you let go, if you know, stop trying to explain things to these people and stop trying to escape from it, you really just essentially reality shift, you know, in your own mind into a different feeling, then that's another way to, you know, escape. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. This is happening for a reason, so I would just trust that, you know, this is revealing something in you that, sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's a bug here. It's kind of a pretty bug. It's bright green. Okay, so yeah, like, do not try and force or escape the situation, because spirit is like, this is happening because some goal that you're working on, this is why that's happening, because they have to clear out and show you everything that's not in alignment with this. So like, definitely don't resist it. Definitely don't, you know, try and ignore it in a, you know, detrimental addiction based way, because it's happening because, you know, you essentially told it to, and that means that you can handle it. You just have to essentially believe that, like, it can be so much easier, you know, just if you give up trying to fix people, have them see your way, you know, and just be grounded. It will eventually rub off. Spirit is also having a big emphasis here on, they want you to connect with the physical world. Maybe that's why you were called to this reading, because, you know, we're out in the forest here. But we have two cards here that is really emphasizing that, like, you know, surrender to the beauty of the natural world, go out in nature, surrender to spirit, the spirit within you. And if you feel like you cannot access that in a, you know, environment that you're in, you can access it in other places, especially now it's summer, you know, you can go outside. But it's a really big emphasis here that they're like, you need to go out in nature and get out of this situation, because that's how you're going to cultivate this higher level perception, where you're not going to let it get to you and you're going to be able to feel good. You just have to get in an environment and do it consistently enough to where it feels comfortable, that you can bring that environment with you even when you're not in the nature itself. Okay, so this card says, take a relaxing break and spend time in nature. Replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and the ecstasy here. Okay, they really want you to nurture those feelings, because feelings are your best asset. That's why, you know, these cards of your gifts, the water, the fifth house, like, your feelings, it's very powerful. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine and let spirit work its magic for you. A lot of messages here coming through, you know, just give up. Really, I mean, if you're doing everything in the physical realm and it's not working, just leave it up to spirit. At least you will know that you did the best you could, literally. And they're also saying that they want you to go out in nature to remind your soul that there is abundance everywhere. It can be easy if you're in a confined situation to think that this is all there is. You know, you can have like beliefs of scarcity with that. You can think, oh, this is the only outcome that's possible. But spirit wants you to go out in nature because it's going to show you that scarcity is a perception. And if you change your perception, you're going to change what you think is possible for, you know, yourself. And you're not going to let the situation bother you. This card says, the universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. And because that's found out in nature all the time, it's a foolproof thing. Like, if you go out in nature, you're going to be connected to that energy. And they really especially in this situation, they really want you to access that and just harness it wherever you go. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. And then we also have the card of these cute little polar bears. Surrender to receiving support and love, whether it's, love and support from people or nature. They really just want you to be receptive, because that's a feeling, right? And your feelings are going to get you out of the situation. So they want you to, I'm also hearing a partner. If you have a partner that is, wanting to be a soundboard for you or a safe space, like, you can, really just reside in that and remind yourself you are abundant. You have people that care about you. You have the opportunity to go out in nature. You have control of your feelings and your thoughts. So the situation doesn't have to affect you. Allow the love and support of others in, rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. Yeah, because remember, you were feeling very burdened here. So if others are trying to help you, definitely let them help you. Just be abundant. Definitely don't resist yourself at all. Like, this is happening for you, so use it to your advantage. And we have, perfect that I said that, because we have the card, you are the universe. Like, yes, this is all a reflection of you. This is clearing away everything that is not aligned with whatever you are starting right now. And with this card, I just want to kind of talk to you guys about how I view the universe. So it says, universe, but I see it as you in verse, you in writing. If you decide to change your story at any time, like you decide, oh, I'm going to change my career to this. Oh, I'm going to date this person. I'm going to move here. Well, what happens is that your universe is going to become a story that's a reflection of that. And so if you decided something here, that you're going to start a new thing, and all of this has to be cleared away for that to happen. So essentially, when you understand that all of this is happening as you basically told it to happen, you can detach from it. Like, you can genuinely be grounded in these events and not let it bother you. When you connect to your higher intuition, that's like, this is all happening for me, not to me, but for me. Like, I'm glad that these things are revealing itself. I'm glad I'm finding myself, my inner strength. I also felt called to say that because maybe they want you to do affirmations. Maybe they want you to, if you are feeling emotional about this, kind of feel your emotions, of course, but then at the end, maybe they want you to direct your attention to affirmations like that, because you don't want to hold on to a negative emotion. They want you to see a higher perspective at all times. Because they also want me to tell you that this journey that you're on right now is a reflection of creation. Okay, it's not darkness, even though it looks like that. It can look very chaotic and conflicting. In the hidden works of everything, this is creating things, because light is the energy of creation. So when we think about creation, we also think about destruction, because it's the opposite, and they always happen together. So something is being created here, but in order for it to be created, things have to be, destroyed. But let this card kind of be a reminder that there's nothing to worry about, because this is a light journey. This is gonna feed your soul. This is essentially unlocking your ability to survive. How to alchemize and utilize anything that happens to you. And one of those ways is to visualize. So if you want to alchemize the situation, if you want to essentially change what happens to you, like I said, a lot of messages came through about harboring and harvesting your feelings, making sure, you're going out in nature, receiving love from people, finding inner peace in the turmoil. But another way you can do this is through your imagination. Okay, if you can't find peace in the present moment, find it in your imagination and just connect to that feeling of peace. Like, what do you want out of this? What do you want the outcome to be? And then, connect to what that would feel like and just let that carry you. Just be in a positive feeling as often as you can. And this is one way to do that, is through visualizing. And then at the very end, we have ask your soul. So when the beginning of the reading, when I said, well, Spirit's just going to tell you that you have all the answers, this is what I meant, because being that this is happening for you, they don't want you to think like, oh, what do? I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go, because like you have all the answers. Like, you essentially created this. Something you did created this destruction because you're creating something. And Spirit is supporting this creation because they're like, you started it, so you have all the answers. I mean, that's kind of I'm a very direct person in this reading, apparently. But that's a very direct way to put it, is like, you can essentially make this whatever you want it to be. It's all up to you. You have all the resources. You have the imagination. You have the support, of nature and people. And you have feelings. Feelings can be altered at your free will. So yeah, that is your reading, pile 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If all this or any part of this resonated, as well as if you guys want to, leave some reading requests, I do reply to the comments. This channel is fairly new, so any like, subscribe, or comment really means a lot to me, and I wish you the best. Hello, pile 3. This is your reading. So I see that a lot of you may be Pisces, or you're also affiliated with the 12th house. You may have 12th house sun, moon, rising, Pisces placements in your big 3. You may also have Pluto on the ascendant, descendant, IC, or MC. This means that Pluto and the energy Mars you may also have on these placements is very much connected to not only what other people see about you, but what you feel in yourself. And you may also have very low degrees of Mars and Pluto, so maybe like a Mars in 1 or 2 degrees of something, or you may have it conjunct a sign. But what I see here, and especially in this reading, there's a lot of masculine energy, so it may be particular that this phase of your life is also calling on you to harness these energies. So with this card, Mars, it is represented by the Tower, the tarot card in the Tower. It is the phrase, I act. So there's a lot of action here. Spirit, one of the messages in this reading that we're going to get to is they want you to start acting internally. And you're probably feeling this right now, that there's a spiritual awakening and a healing that's going on. There may have been some type of heartbreak that they're asking you to act internally. Okay, so also traits of this include aggression, desire, competition, passion, sex, drive, energy, and impulse. Okay, so like I said, you may be connected to that energy, or they may be calling you to essentially harness those traits and look inward. What does give you drive? What does make you aggressive? What way can you harness your desires? They're kind of asking you to focus on these traits because Pluto is tied with power. And so Mars and Pluto, it's a great combination. I feel like this spiritual healing journey, it's going to be very humbling as it's happening, but the end of it is like you find this power, you find this drive, you find this ability to know who you are in an unshakable conviction of yourself. Like, you will never question who you are once you really do this inner work. Okay, so the phrase of the Pluto is I am power. It's associated with transformation, evolution, alchemy, afterlife, rebirth, wealth, and power. There's definitely some type of alchemizing here going on with your 12th house. And the 12th house is associated with empathetic, spiritual, imagination, compassionate, evasive, psychic, and healing abilities. So there's a lot of things going on internally. They want you to find your power within, and you do that by acting within. So a lot of this reading is going to be based on, internal matters. So we're going to start off with your tarot reading first. One of the cards that I see, you're experiencing this right now. And this is a big force, not a nudge, but a force from the universe to go within. Things in your physical life may have not worked out. Maybe you wanted to have friends, but then the friends were not reciprocating you, or you wanted to have a lover, but then the lover was not on the same page. And it just seemed like whatever you were doing to essentially escape whatever they want you to do internally, it's not working. And so the universe is throwing these repelling events your way, because this journey is about to unfold, or it is currently, where you're being looked to rebirth in yourself because your reality is not working, and that is a reflection of your internal frequency. So they want you to go within, fix it, understand who you are at a deeper level, so that you can attract new, more resonating experiences in your life later. But I do see that right now they're really asking you to just slow down, take time to go on this journey. And they're saying too that this journey, being that the Fool is the first card of the tarot deck, it's like the first card of the journey, it's in reverse. So this may feel uncomfortable for you. This may be something that, you're not familiar with. Maybe this is the first time that you've had a calling to be alone, or things haven't worked out for you in the physical realm. And so it's a completely new beginning, and it's calling you to experience your masculine energy in a different way. I feel like a lot of you guys have masculine energy in this reading, and that is what's going under a rebirth. So it's like you're reshaping your human self. You're finding out what you like to do, your emotions, like I said, what makes you tick, what desires do you have, your sexual passions. It's harnessing these energies to recreate your masculine self, which is associated with action. And in order to do that, you have to first, act within, and that calls on a hold of action in your physical reality. So if it seems like, your reality was just kind of fighting you, kind of feels like that, like you were trying to make things work, but everything was just fighting you. Spirit kept showing you signs to go within, and they did it to the point where you eventually were motivated to go within. You may have resisted it at first, but then when all this was not working out, and it was very conflicting and very heavy on your emotions, they were like, oh, see now you want to look within? Yes, you're where we want you to be. So this is probably where you're currently at right now, where you're like, wow, this is very unfamiliar, but I have no choice, because I don't want to go out and experience that chaos that I was, experiencing before. So they are telling me in this reading that this journey, it's just the beginning. So this may be like a certain phase or period of your life that you're embarking on, and it may last, a couple months or maybe a year. And it's something that it requires a lot of work, and because it's inner work, it's on its own time. It's not something that you can essentially control in the physical realm. It's really out of your control, if that makes sense. And this card here really represents you're undergoing a completely new identity change. You're realizing that your old self, maybe it's your life, something in your life happened where your old self was completely demolished. Maybe you moved, or you got a new relationship, or you graduated or something like that, and now it's a whole new chapter is open, and you don't know who you are because the old you was associated with the old chapter, and now it's a whole new book, So this is like the beginning of sowing the seeds. Whatever you do in this time, like looking inward, discovering about yourself, it's going to lay the foundation for in the future. But right now they're really saying, like, let go of wanting to control the outcome. Like, let go of your attachment to the results of the outcome. It's undetermined how long this is going to take, so it's best to just let go of, that desire to just get on with it, essentially. And you can actually find quite joy in this as well. This is another thing they're showing me, is that you can actually be quite joyful if you embrace that this is something completely new. If you become aware that sorry if you become aware that this is a completely new start, you can harness the fact that you don't have all the answers. And I feel that anybody who steps into the energy of like surrendering control, everything starts to get provided for you. And there is something here where they want you to essentially like change your masculine. You used to be very action oriented in the physical realm. They want you to change it to be inner oriented. Maybe that means like you don't do things in the physical realm as much. Maybe that means you're meditating more, and it seems like you're doing nothing because you're just sitting in a place and you don't like complete anything. But a lot is going on in the scenes, and they want you to embrace that. Like, it may feel very new, but there is something about it that if you embrace it, it can be a very, very beautiful new beginning. And part of that is listening to your intuition. When you feel you're not supposed to act, then don't act. When you feel you're supposed to meditate, look within, go outside, follow that, and don't question it. Don't rationalize it. There may be an old instinct to rationalize it as well. There may be an instinct to kind of understand what's going on and contribute your part to this blooming, this releasing and blooming. But Spirit is really saying, like, you have to see where you're at and see that this is so out of your control. It's such a new beginning that it cannot be controlled with the things you used to do. So maybe the things you used to do that brought you peace and comfort, like hanging out with people, for instance, that's probably not gonna feel the way it used to now. If Spirit wants you to embody new things, to look within, okay? That's probably why your physical reality may be changing, because they want you to feel like your inner reality, the fact that you don't know what's going on all the time and you are kind of confused about who you are, is going to be affirmed when you cannot do what you used to do, if that makes sense. And it's actually going to give you a foundation where, like I said, you're going to be motivated to look within. You're going to be excited, because if you cannot do what you used to do to find pleasure in the physical realm, that pleasure has to go somewhere. That Mars energy, that drive, passion, sexual desire, it has to be transmuted into something. And what better way to do that than to confront your feelings, including feelings of maybe heartbreak, sadness, anger, really reflecting on your life and seeing flashbacks. Even I'm hearing flashbacks. Like they're giving you this clean slate of, you don't have to act in the physical realm, because they want you to take stock of this. They want you to heal, release this trapped energy, okay, so it doesn't come in the physical realm. Maybe that's why these relationships were quite not pleasant, because that energy is still lingering in you. And they really want you to understand why it happened as well. Like, what did it teach you? Pluto, how are you empowered by this? What can you learn from it, and how can you transmute that into power? Mars, what can you do with this energy? How can you recreate yourself from these experiences that hurt you? In order to do that, though, you have to first sit with those emotions, and that takes time, and that takes, solitude. So it's actually, a blessing that they are giving you this clean slate, that you're able to do this healing work in private at your own pace. Because I do feel like this is the very beginning of this journey. And I also pulled some oracle cards for you, so I'm going to get into those now. These are surrendering messages. So anything that is in these cards, if you surrender them, it will make your life a lot easier. It will be easier to embody the path of least resistance if you surrender these. The first one is going to be the habit of people pleasing. It says, speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. And this is another example of how they want you to turn that masculine Mars energy inwards. Maybe you used to do things to make other people happy, and that made you happy, and that was like your source of happiness. Well, it's at some point, if they want you to essentially make yourself happy, things you do for others, it's not going to be received the way it used to be received. Or you're going to feel a really big calling to just step back and, know your worth, essentially. So that's what they're doing here. They want you to learn what makes you happy that doesn't involve other people, that's completely individual and very self-fulfilling in that way. And they also want you to surrender the drama. So I feel like with the situation, these relationships, they're not resonating anymore. Spirit is saying something about like, find the higher perspective in this. Maybe you are not partaking in the drama, but maybe you're letting it affect you. Maybe you're trying to understand things that it's not your job to understand. That may be part of, the people pleasing. Maybe you want to understand people's perspectives, but it's truly your only job in life is to understand your perspective. We are only in control of ourselves, and especially during this journey, your only job is that. They want you to let go of trying to help others. It's time to help yourself and really heal these unresolved trauma, trapped emotions, experiences, etc. And maybe this is aligned with that. Maybe these experiences come from this drama. It says, no matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. And they're also saying to surrender stress as well. This is confirmed and guided by the universe. Like, this is happening for the reason of self-development. So yes, it may be stressful because it's new and it's uncharted territory, but if you can see a different perspective, like, this is a blessing that you have the opportunity to do this work, this can help release that stress. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. Oh, sorry. Something scared me. Don't you hate that when you're like in the moment and then you hear like a bzzz? I'm like, oh no. Anyway, yeah, so okay, that was a moment where I was stressed, like confirmation, double confirmation. So yeah, I just feel like this stress is really a perception where you're taking on more than you need to. If you just direct your attention to how it is making you feel in your own internal experiences, rather than trying to understand the situation itself, maybe that can be another way to, ease that tension. And then we have surrender defensiveness. And I do feel that this is aligned with the drama. Like, maybe the way you're responding to the situation is causing more drama. The thing about trapped emotions and experiences held within your body, what happens, and maybe this is especially why Spirit is, kind of forcing you to release this energy, is what happens is like it will come out in ways that you don't see it. Like if you were angry about a situation, people may see you as an angry person, and maybe you're not even coming off or intending to come off that way, but the trapped energy is in their perception of you. Maybe your voice is like, you know, fast, or maybe it's deeper or something, and you're not catching on to it, but they are, because that energy is still in you. So the thing about healing is that it also gets rid of these traits like defensiveness. You know, that's a sign of trauma. It's a sign of a survival response. And it can make situations worse. So Spirit's really just telling you to kind of be silent if the drama's happening. Kind of just, you know, sit back, ground yourself. Because maybe if you respond, it could be taken the wrong way, you know. This says defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out. Then offer a clear, non-defensive response. Yeah, so really grounding yourself in those situations, you know, it can direct your attention to see maybe how you will be perceived. Knowing that this energy is stuck and trapped in you, others may be perceiving it even when you don't want them to. So grounding yourself may be a very good exercise as well. And they also want you to know, surrender your attachment to results. Like I said, this healing journey, it's the very beginning. So if you're, you know, attaching yourself to the result of like, what am I going to be like when I get out of this? What am I going to do when I get out of this? What are my intentions going to be when this is over? Well, they're kind of saying like, you don't know when this is going to be over, and you don't know who you're going to be when it's done. So they really want you to just release that urge to look into the future and to hold on to it tightly. You know, it's a very great strength to be okay in the present when you don't know what's going to happen in the future. But in situations like this, the more you become familiar with it, it will be easier to do. This card says, the formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. And then we have surrender to the magic of who you are. This says, we all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness that and worth that comes from just being you. And that's what this journey is really about. It's really about reminding you of the magic that exists in you. We also have some other cards I pulled for you. This card of Nourish. This speaks about nourishing your feelings. And hang on, we got a friend. No. This is so funny. This did not happen in my other readings. Okay, anyway, this card of Nourish is talking about nourishing your feelings. This is a really big spiritual awakening of feelings. You're releasing trapped emotions. So if you're feeling aggression, if you're feeling sadness, if you're feeling uncomfortable, confusion, you know, loss of control, they're really telling you to not escape these emotions, but actually nourish them. Like, you know, look into the past. Ask yourself, am I feeling like this because of something that happened to me in the past, or something that's happening right now? And why do I feel this way? And just, you know, maybe write about it, talk about it to yourself, like, because this is a very individual journey. But they're really wanting you to nourish this journey, not escape it, not avoid it, not look to the future and, you know, things like that, but nourish every part of your being right now, because this is a very divine masculine awakening, which is our next card here. So you're transforming your wounded masculine into a divine masculine, and you're learning more about yourself to craft. This is like the foundation of crafting this new version of yourself. yeah, so with this card, I do feel like maybe you should write about this. I feel like there's a lot to unpack here about your past, and you might want to write it down, you know, how you feel about it, how you processed it, you know, things that affirm, you know, what you would want to hear in that moment when it happened, essentially, doing shadow work in that way. And this is going to help clear that energy that's trapped in you. Like when you write it down, it's cleared. And that's why this journey is happening. They really want you to clear the energy so you have a clean slate for this new version of you. So writing is a very good tool for that. I feel very called to tell you that. Journaling, you know, get a journal, write it down, write down your emotions, write down whatever you can. And that will help you cultivate this wellness. I feel like grounding is very, oh my God, why? Why again? Why? I can't. I literally can't. The wellness. Write down your trauma to cultivate the wellness. That is the end of your reading. If this resonated with you in any way, please let me know. This is a new channel, so the likes, the comments, the subscribes mean a great deal to me. Thank you for sharing your energy with me today, and I also do reply to reading requests in the comments, so thank you.